Guess who's back? Me. Hi guys, welcome back to Through a Cultural Lens. How are you? I missed you. 2 weeks, but no more. No more. Every week I'm gonna be here, I promise. Okay, so welcome back, and today I'm not giving you a fancy creative video with cuts and music and screenplay and all that stuff, because I want to have a real conversation and I really want you to pay attention to my words instead of my edit. So we're going to talk about trusting your struggle. And I know this is a very touchy subject because everybody thinks that their struggle is the hardest struggle, and we don't ever know what another person is dealing with. So today I want to talk to you guys about trusting your struggle and how to deal with allowing yourself to fall before you can pick yourself back up. Okay, so I want to start off by just saying that whenever you decide to go against the norm or do something out of the ordinary or pursue your own passion or business, you're going to face a whole lot of struggles. And the reason why is because you're doing something not normal to everybody else. So you might look crazy, but you know what you're striving for in your heart. Now, with that being said, let's just say that things in your eyes might get a little crazy. But what you have to do, or what is best for you to do, is to just realize that when you're building a brand or when you're building a business from the ground up, you have to go through struggle in order to appreciate when you get to the top. Now, I know it's better said than done, because I've been in that position, but I always, when I get to my lowest points or when I feel like I can't move on anymore, I always try to just think about where I want to be and not where I'm at. That really helps me to like push me through, to really like resonate with myself. Like, this, you're not doing this for no reason, and you're not really doing this for yourself. You're doing this for all the other people who think they can't. So you have to get up and you have to try harder and you have to go after what you want. Where there's a will, there will always be a way. And if you really truly don't believe that, then you're not going to make it past your struggle. The people who really make it past their struggle are the people who realize that struggle is necessary for them to continue on with their dream or what they really want to do in life. Now, the reason why I call this channel a journey is because I'm not where I want to be, but I'm right here with you and we will struggle together. Because I still would deal with struggle, and successful people also deal with their struggles. So the struggle never really ends. I think that's a big misconception, where people think that whenever you get to a certain point or you start making a certain amount of money that your struggles end. It really doesn't. What happens is that you get more struggle. So the higher you go, probably is the more struggle you would get and the bigger the load will be. So you have to learn from now, from the small stages. You have to learn how to work through whatever is going on. Personal, business, with your man or girl or whatever. You gotta realize that it cannot affect you internally. Because once it affects you internally, then it's really gonna throw everything off. And there's gonna be no balance in what you're doing. Now, I know everybody has emotions and everybody's human and everybody's gonna feel a certain type of way. You might want to cry, you might want to laugh, you might want to do whatever. But you have to remain true to yourself and grounded. Once you're grounded on the inside, there's no struggle that can kick you off your path. If there's a struggle that can kick you off your path, then you're not on the right path. Okay, so we say we're having a real talk conversation, so let's really talk. Now, I have to put things into perspective, because just like I said, we're on a journey and I'm in the same spot that I was the last time I did a video for you guys. So this is what I'm gonna say. Me personally, most of the times when I get into a struggle, it's kind of hard for me to like really use my struggle as a force to really move me and motivate me to do things. What tends to happen is that when I get into a struggle, I tend to really like get in a rut, because I'm like a perfectionist almost. So I really want everything to be this way, that way, that way. And it can't, because that's not the way life is. So what I'm learning to do now with my own self, before I can even tell you guys, is I'm learning to, instead of being completely down when I hit a rough patch or when I hit a struggle, I need to use that, turn it around, and use it for like cannon and just like go after literally what I want. Because if you don't do something different from what you're doing now, you're always going to be in the same spot. And that's with everything in life. So I don't like to be in a struggle. And the more I think about my struggle is the more I'm going to be in a struggle. What I have to do and what you guys have to do if you're in the same position as me is when you get into a struggle, you have to just laugh it off and say, okay, life, I got you. You're trying to throw me one, but I'm not going to let you stop me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hurdle over the struggle and I'm going to keep it moving. And the more struggles that life gives you is the more you have to hurdle. So you got to be fit because that's what we got to do. But, you know, just playing. But that's what I'm learning to do now. Now, the way I keep grounded is I'm a spiritual person and I like to meditate. So I meditate to keep myself in a calm and zen place most of the time so that I don't act off an impulse or I don't react and do something stupid that I didn't really want to do. And that, I believe, really helps. It really, meditation for me is like self-reflection. So when I meditate, it's like I'm facing myself. I'm really looking at myself and seeing like what is happening here and why is it that I can't move past a certain point to really continue to do what I love to do. And that's what I do when I meditate. When you really sit there and you confront yourself, you have only you to answer to. There's no outside opinions. There's no one telling you what to do. There's no one trying to listen to you. It's only you and yourself. So you have no choice but to be honest because you know you the best. And that's what happens. That's when I meditate, I literally talk to myself. I'm like, Sam, get up, go make a video right now because you should have had a video out 2 weeks ago and you didn't. And you know what I do? I get up and I come make a video because that's what you need to do to really psych yourself out. You need to psych yourself out of the trouble or the struggle. If you stick into the struggle, nothing but struggle is going to come. What you think is what you create. And this is what we need to teach each other and what we need to really learn. You have to envision where you want to be. You cannot stick to where you are. Yes, it's important to know where you are and, you know, obviously, but you have to envision. Because I can already see myself being successful. And everybody's definition of success is different. But for me, I can already see myself being successful. So what I'm doing right now is just, I'm just setting a nice foundation. So when I get there, I'm not surprised because I've already been here for the longest. In my mind, I'm already here. Everybody might not know that, but I do. And that's really what matters. So one tip I can give to you is meditation. When you meditate, and it gives you time to clear your head out of all the outside information that you have. It's just you and you. And when you confront yourself is really when you start to get some answers. Will that work for everybody? I don't know because everybody meditates differently. But that's one thing that I have done to help me through my struggle. And I suggest that if you're going through a struggle or if you're in a tight spot and you don't know what to do, or you don't know where to go right now in whatever you're doing in your life, that's something that I feel is really beneficial in helping. Is really just to meditate and ask yourself, what do you really want? You know, what is it that you really want for your life right now? What is it that you want your children or your child to look at you and, you know, and really say? Because for me, I have a son and when my son talks about me years to come, I want him to say, or I want him to really believe that, you know what, his mother was a fighter and his mother was a hustler and she really went after what she really wanted in life. And that's basically it. You know, for me, success means to inspire people. So if me by doing this and going through the struggle and showing you guys how I got through it and showing you guys when I'm in it, which is now, could inspire you to get up and do something or get up and try to face your own struggles, that makes me successful already. So just like I said, I'm already there. So if this video reaches one person or helps one person, I have already deemed myself successful. So I'm just going to end off by saying that you have to trust your struggle. And you have to realize that when things happen, it just makes for a better story at the end. You know what I always think? Call me crazy. But I always think, with all the struggle that I'm going through, when VH1 calls me for a special, oh my God, I'm going to have such a juicy story. Like, hello, duh. So, call me crazy, but that's how I psych myself out. That's what I really think. I think like, damn, VH1 is gonna have a lot to record, so they better come with like their best cameras. And I'm nuts like that because that's the way I psych myself out of my struggle. But those are the little things you should do. You know, don't let it get to you. Don't let it break you down. I mean, sometimes in life we have to slow down to speed back up, but you don't want to come to a complete halt, because that can really just like ruin your inspiration, everything that you already have going on. Once you get a start, even if you're just crawling, you have to crawl before you walk. And crawl as long as you need to. But when you're really ready to step off and walk, you have to know that the struggle isn't going to end when you're moving on to another level. It's probably going to be a little bit more. It's probably going to be a little bit less. We don't know the situation. But you have to trust in whatever's going on. His Imperial Majesty doesn't give us nothing we cannot handle. So that's what we have to do. We have to know that we are guided. And when you live with a clean heart, a pure heart, what is for you will always be yours. Now, if you live in the other way, I don't know what to tell you. You know, whatever you reap is what you sow. So that's what I really have to say. I just want everybody to believe in themselves. Because I know when you get into a struggle, you start thinking a whole bunch of stuff on why you're even doing this, and why didn't you just listen to your mother or your cousin or somebody. You didn't listen to them because you listened to what you were feeling on the inside. Struggle doesn't change how you feel. What it does is just, you know, it makes the fire a little dim. But what you have to do is use that struggle and light back the fire and get back to what you're doing. You just know that whatever you're doing now is not only for you. You're doing it because there's other people that feel like they can't. And there's literally other people that get into a struggle, get depressed, and then take their own lives because they don't feel like they can make it. And that's one thing that I take seriously, because depression is not a joke. And when you see somebody, you know, being depressed, or if you know somebody that have been depressed, or you have been depressed, you can really count for the fact that you really get into a state where it's really hard to come out of. So you want to avoid getting into that state. Everybody goes through struggle. Nobody walks through life without anything. That doesn't happen. So we have to just know that there are other people that is living a worse life or going through a harder struggle than what you're going through right now. And if they can still make it and still push through, why can't you? You're not anything different. So please, I'm just asking that the next time you feel like you cannot move on, or the next time you feel like you are at a spot where you don't know what else to do, or your back is against the wall, just really look into yourself and say to yourself, if I give up now, then what was I fighting for in the beginning? Once you ask yourself that question, trust me, the struggle is going to seem so much less, because you're really going to think to yourself like, you know what, that is kind of true. If I let this one little struggle get me now, what's going to happen? We can't do that. We have to get it together. We have to push through and fight through. Show everybody that struggle is not something you should let control your whole life or control a situation. It's something used to motivate yourself. So get in it, or get out of it, and continue on. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for having real talk with me. I would love if everybody would leave their comments, subscribe, click the button, please, because more things like this is going to happen on this channel. I love when I could just be real with people, because I'm a realist. That's what I am. I don't know no other way of being. So I didn't want to give you a fancy video, because this topic is a topic where I want you to really understand what I'm saying. I don't want you to pay attention to graphics. I want you to pay attention to my words. Really take it, listen, understand it. So again, thank you for watching me, and stay tuned, because we have more things coming up. It's a journey, so we're going to go on it together, for real, seriously. And I have a whole lot more videos. Again, I want to thank you, and see you next week.